Hi, everybody. I'm Sandy Borowski, and I'm happy to talk to you today about our upcoming trip to Connecticut for Eyre Tours. In fact, I'm even happier that we have someone here to talk to you about this trip that knows it a lot better than me. I'd like you to meet Ariane Ramawi. Ariane has joined us as our new manager of tours, working directly with Jill Wood and Kat Carter and myself to bring you the very best experiences in travel from Eyre Tours. So we're here today to talk to you about a fantastic trip that I know you're going to love, but maybe you don't know a lot about. So I thought it was important to present it to you. So we're going to do that with this cool recording, and you can watch it at your leisure. And hopefully it will entice you to join us on this trip. And of course, if you have any questions after you watch the recording, you can reach out to Jill Wood and she'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So just to start, the dates of this trip are right in the middle of June 15th to 18th. It is a 4-day, 3-night trip. Talk about New England charm. This tour has it in abundance. You'll hear about it in a minute. The price per person is $13.99 based on 2 people in a room and $16.69 based on a single occupancy. And 7 meals are included, including 2 of those being dinner. So we're really proud of the inclusions that you'll have on this trip. So I'm going to pass it over to Ariane, and she is going to tell you about what you're going to experience on this trip. So take it away, Ariane.
Thanks, Sandy. I'm so excited to be part of the Eyre Tours family here. And I'm even more excited to be talking about this brand new trip that we have going out in June. For those of you who have never been to New England in this springtime, summertime period, June 15th to the 18th, it's a Thursday through Sunday. And the weather's just absolutely gorgeous this time of year to visit Connecticut. You're looking at mid to high 70s during the day and the mid to high 50s in the evening. So it's absolutely beautiful for New England time. You'll be able to bring your little cable knit sweater for the evening for the dinner excursions that we have. And during the day, just pack a nice pair of slacks or a sundress and you'll have a great time. So I'm going to walk you through day by day what we'll be doing. So the tour director on this particular trip is Catherine Schwartz. So we're excited to have her aboard. This trip will start with the first day. After boarding the bus, we'll head up to Easton, Pennsylvania, and on the way we'll have lunch on our own. Once we get to Easton, Pennsylvania, we have a really wonderful canal boat ride planned. You'll see a beautiful picture of that there. It's very leisurely, calm ride that is just incredible. It's the only mule-pulled, yes, I said it, mule-pulled boat canal ride in the United States. And it is just kind of beckoning back to a time of simpler life. A time when Americans relied so much upon these canals. And all across the eastern seaboard east of the Mississippi River. So that's an exciting part and way for us to kick off this trip. Afterwards, we'll board the bus again and we'll head over to our check-in at the hotel, which is the Courtyard Marriott in Cromwell, Connecticut. If you've never stayed at a Courtyard, I absolutely love it. They're brand new hotels for the most part, state-of-the-art everything. You have a mini fridge in your room and a microwave and a coffee maker for the morning. And also at this particular a hotel, you'll also have access to the bistro bar. So if you're somebody who likes a nightcap or a glass of wine, you'll be able to have access to that as well as Starbucks coffee early in the morning. Afterwards, after checking in, we'll have a little bit of time before we head over to dinner. We're going to head to the Red Fox restaurant, which serves up incredible food. We're talking Mediterranean American cuisine, and that's located in Middletown, Connecticut. So that's our first day right there. After dinner, we'll head back to the hotel for a great night's rest. And then we'll get up the next day for day 2. Day 2 starts with breakfast at the hotel provided. and we'll board the bus and travel to Wethersfield, Connecticut. Now, Wethersfield starts off with a very historic day indeed. We are visiting the Webb Dean Stevens Museum. Here, the Webb Dean Stevens Museum has 3 different properties, 3 different houses that have been meticulously preserved. We're talking a rich and diverse legacy of American history within these 3 houses. Okay, so starting off, the first house we'll visit is the Joseph Webb House. Joseph Webb's house served as General George Washington's headquarters in 1781. It's astounding, isn't it? It also was the meeting place to finalize the military campaign that led to the victory of Yorktown. And for those history buffs, you know that that means that was the battle that ended the American Revolution. It was also notably owned by another famous businessman, Wallace Nutting. So to this day, when you tour the house, you'll be able to see murals on the front 2 rooms and the hallway. The second house, because that was only one, the second house, the Silas Dean's house. Dean became involved in the events of the American Revolution as well. If you know anything about Silas, he was an attorney and he helped plan and finance the capture of Fort Ticonderoga in 1775. As the U.S.'s first official diplomat, he actually traveled to Paris back in the day, securing French military supplies. He's known to have shared lodgings with Benjamin Franklin and also signed the treaties of alliance of commerce that Franklin negotiated with France. Also, another notable American within these walls was John Adams. He visited Wethersfield and took tea with the Mrs. Dean. George Washington also dined at the house while en route to take command of the troops in Boston. So a lot of history within these walls, like I mentioned. The third house is the Isaac Stevens house. Isaac Stevens was a leather worker, so he was kind of that middle-class family man. And so this house is designed to represent the middle-class family of the 1820s and the 1830s. You'll be able to see a lot of the original family artifacts and possessions that are still on display within the house. So that's a really interesting piece of history there as well. The kitchen, most notably on this house, when you do tour it with us, you'll see that it's been designed to be staffed by the lady of the house and not with the slaves' quarter or to accommodate servants. So it really is a telling of the times. After we're done, here we'll also have a box lunch on site. So that's a nice thing. You don't have to worry about heading somewhere else. We'll board the bus and we'll head to the Harriet Beecher Stowe house. So responsible for the book Life Among the Lowly, or better known as Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe lived in this house for 23 years. She was a neighbor to another famous American named Mark Twain, if you've ever heard of him. This incredible 5,000 square foot cottage has many of Beecher Stowe's original items intact. The library has numerous letters and documents of the Beecher family still on display. Interesting thing about Harriet Beecher Stowe, after the Civil War, she traveled to the capital of Washington, D.C., and she had a meeting with President Abraham Lincoln in 1862. Not much was said at the time when they had that meeting. However, later, Beecher Stowe's son reported that Lincoln greeted her saying, "So, you are the little woman who wrote the book that started this great war." So it's really an incredible destination if you've never been there, and this is a perfect time of year to go. Right when we're finished with that, we'll walk across the lawn to her neighbor, Mark Twain. The Mark Twain house is an incredible Gothic structure. I mean, just an architect's dream to encompass. He was living in the house for 17 years. And within those 17 years, he completed many incredible books. Some of his most famous include The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. This has 25 different rooms and is described as a feast for the eyes. Some of the artwork that you'll see displayed in the architecture and the decor of the house includes influences of Morocco, India, Japan, and China, as the associated artists, including Louis C. Tiffany himself, the son of Tiffany & Co.'s designer, worked on the design touches. So as we walk through the house, you'll be able to take special note of certain signature Mark Twain pieces. In the library, there's a large oak mantelpiece that was purchased from Eyre Castle in Scotland and brought over for the house. And right above the mantelpiece, you'll see an inscription that says 1874. And that was the year that the family actually inhabited the house. So that's original piece there. Also, notably throughout the house, you'll be able to see the conservatory, which the children used to call the jungle. As you can see, that's that greenhouse room that was in the back of the house. So you'll be able to see that. And upstairs, there's an elaborately carved bed, which Twain kept his whole life. It was originally purchased in Venice in 1878, and he is said to have quoted it to be the most comfortable bedstead that ever was, with space enough in it for a family and carved angels enough to bring peace to the sleepers and pleasant dreams. Also, one of the most exciting rooms in the entire property is the billiard room, where Twain famously wrote many of his books. So, and it doesn't end there. You'll also have a little bit of time at the end of the tour to visit the gift shop. So be sure to keep a little bit of money in your pocket, because there's a lot of interesting little knickknacks and things you might want to bring home with you to remember this trip. After we conclude for that evening, we'll head back to the hotel where you'll have the option of having dinner on your own at either downtown Hartford, Connecticut, or if you'd like to take a little bit more leisurely approach, there's a lot of different restaurants by the Courtyard Marriott within walking distance, including the bistro bar on premises, a Chili's, and a hibachi restaurant, which will be nice too. We'll go to sleep that evening and wake early the next day for day three. Day three, which is Saturday, we'll have breakfast again provided at the hotel, and we'll take the bus and climb. We'll take the bus, to the Essex Steam train. Okay, we'll board the Essex Steam train, which is one of the only steam trains available that pulls some vintage coaches along the New England towns of Deep River and Chester, and also along the tidal wetlands of Pratt Cove and Chester Creek. So a lot of sightseeing on this train ride you'll be able to have. Once we arrive, we'll then depart from the train itself at Deep River Landing, and we'll board the Becky Thatcher, which is a 70-foot Mississippi-style riverboat. Okay, so if you've ever had an opportunity to be on a riverboat ride, you know how incredibly majestic and fun that trip can be. And if you've never done it, please join us on this trip. It's going to be incredible. On board, we'll have a narrated eco excursion cruise through the heart of the unspoiled Connecticut River Valley. You'll, bring your binoculars or see if you can share with somebody else, because oftentimes along this river, we'll be able to spot swans and Greenland geese, blue herons, egrets, and red-winged blackbirds. And if you keep an eye out, you might also see the next stop, which is Gillette Castle. Once we return off the boat, we'll head over to Gillette State Park Castle. Here, we'll get to tour the castle itself, which is an incredible fortress. As you can see there, it's built all with the stone structure on the outside. It was designed by the playwright and descendant of Thomas Hooker, one of the founders of Hartford, Connecticut, William Hooker Gillette, who, if you don't know who he is, he was known for his portrayal of Sherlock Holmes. Well, he was a jack of all trades, as he designed this entire structure, which includes built-in couches, a movable table on tracks, and wood carved light switches. Really interesting stuff. The woodworking throughout the castle is notable as it's all hand hewn southern white oak. So really beautiful handiwork put in throughout the entire structure. Of the 47 hand carved doorways throughout the structure, no two are exactly the same. So see if you can walk through there and spot any differences, or see if you can see all 47. Once we're done touring the castle, you'll have the option to walk outside on the well-maintained walking path and to see the vegetable cellar, the stone arch bridge, the railroad station, and the famous goldfish pond. From there, we'll board the bus and we'll head to dinner at the Gillette Inn. Gillette Inn has stood for over 200 years on the banks of the Connecticut River. And it's actually right next to our following stop, the Goodspeed Opera House. So once we get there, you'll notice right away the incredible atmosphere the Gillette House and Inn has. You get to sit in the dining room, which has a sweeping, beautiful view of the Connecticut River and the swing bridge. So imagine just sitting in that dining room, relaxing and enjoying the stories of the day, and watching as all the New England riverboats just chuck up and down and pass on by. Once we conclude our dinner, we'll head over to the Goodspeed Theater for the evening performance. This is the Saturday evening performance of Gypsy. And if you've never seen Gypsy, I have to say, what are you waiting for? It is such an incredible show. It's one of the best American musicals ever conceived. It's brassy, it's a masterpiece about vaudeville and burlesque, but it's so much more than that. Just to tell you a little bit more about the story, Gypsy follows an ambitious single mother who's trying to get her daughters into an acting career, one that she never was able to achieve for herself. And so Gypsy is kind of a show within a show in the tradition of like a Shakespearean show. And it's very quintessential American at its roots. Some of the famous tunes you might have heard of before include "Everything is Coming Up Roses" and "Roses Turn." And the audience is just there watching the woman as she's peeled down to her unadored ambition to achieve fame and fortune, or as some might see it, her version of the American dream. So it's a great show. I'm so excited that it's part of this trip as well. And after the Saturday night performance, and there's a curtain call, we'll head back onto the bus and we'll head back to the hotel for the evening. On day 4, Sunday morning, we'll wake up, we'll have breakfast at the hotel, and begin our trek back home. But on our way back home, we'll have a nice stop at Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, we're stopping at the Wind Creek Casino and Outlets. So you'll have the option of activities on your own here at the site, including either lunch or playing the slots. There's over 3,000 slots at this location, including poker games and electronic games. But if you want to try something different, there's also a little bit of shopping. Featured in the outlets include Chico's, Coach, Talbot's, Famous Footwear, and a couple of other establishments. If you'd rather just catch some lunch, we have Emerald's Chop House Grill on this location, Urban Table, Gourmet Market Express, or Carlo's Bake Shop. So maybe you want to pick up some rainbow cookies, rainbow Italian cookies, or maybe lobster tail for that special someone back home. And so after we're done here, we'll head back onto the bus once more and head back home with a whole load of memories from this incredible trip. I so hope that you can join us for this amazing new Eyre tourist trip.
Thank you, Ariane. That was incredible. Yeah, I don't know how you can watch all of that and listen to you with not wanting to go on that trip. For me, the castle sounds fantastic. The steam train followed by the boat ride sounds great. The Webb Dean Stevens Museum sounds cool. Like there's just so many highlights. Mark Twain House, there's lots of highlights that I would love to see. And this trip does have it all. So if you would like to book, There are two ways to book. You can call Jill Wood, and her phone number is shown there, or you can book right online. It's super easy. I will tell you that the pickups that we'll be departing from and bringing you home to are the Silver Springs, Rockville, Georgia Avenue pickup. Then we'll head over to Leisure World, and then over to Longgate in Ellicott City, and to Cromwell Bridge in Towson. So those are the 4 pickups and drop-offs that we'll use for this trip. So we absolutely hope that you join us. We hope you found this presentation to be helpful. And if you have any other questions, give us a call. We'll be happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on another recording soon. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.